I certainly hope you haven't moved on now. What a strange fate it is to become, of all things, eternal. In this vast and profound landscape we've carved out for ourselves, in this hidden corner of the galaxy, it's in the heart of every man to search for something more. Atop of great mountains standing tall, empires rise and kingdoms fall. Every triumph sees an end, but everything comes back again. Though some may weep for pastures gone, others keep and carry on. Whatever path that we endeavor, the midnight hour is forever. Welcome home. The midnight hour is forever.
What's going on, guys? My name is El De Niro, and welcome back to your favourite event of the calendar year, the Midnight Owl. Now with more giveaways than ever before, this episode is sponsored by NASA, your favourite space agency. Log on to NASA.gov now and sign up using the coupon code Midnight Hour for 25% off space equipment. Oh, the accent went. The accent went as soon as I hit Al. Then it went.
Our good buddies NASA are actually huge fans of the podcast, so they reached out.
Not my favourite space agency.
Oh, sorry.
For the Space Force.
They're not an agency. Well, I suppose technically they are a space agency, but they're more of a like security force type thing rather than like a, you know, the Space Force aren't going to be competing with NASA, right? Like.
Oh, you telling me that now?
I like the Guatemalan Space Agency. That's my favourite one.
That's a good one, yeah. They launched a dog into space, but like it wasn't in a rocket. Yeah. They just launched it from Earth.
Just died.
Yeah.
With a cannon. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few space agencies out there, though. I'll tell you, as any movie involving space and China will tell you.
It's always weird in the like movies that take place 100 years from now. There's always the Russian space astronaut fella. There's always the American, but there's always like a Scandinavian one where I'm like, really? Like in the future, Scandinavia of like,
yeah,
really?
Your progressive society has avoided apocalypse? Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Feed me some other lies.
Have you seen that terrible film with the weather?
Geostorm with Jared Butler. Yeah. No, but I have it downloaded and I'm ready.
That's not even good terrible. It's just terrible.
I tell you what I did see recently.
Got like... Go on.
Just to let the listeners know, Jack is calling from inside of a prison cell, and the guards don't know.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
My life is caught up with me.
Yeah, that's the real reason why the podcast doesn't exist anymore, is because Jack got arrested, and just the criminal, like, the reputation that he has just killed off our listeners. And what we're going to do eventually is do a charity, event where Jack is the head of it, and we put on a show for the troops or something like that.
I think what I really need is OJ's lawyer.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Is he dead?
I think he was like Kim Kardashian's dad, weren't he? And he's definitely dead.
He was one of them. The main guy was Cochran, who made a living out of getting black people off of charges like that. And
was that Ross? I mean, was that Ross? Wasn't that David? Wasn't that David Schwimmer in the TV show they made of it?
That was Kardashian.
Oh, he was Kardashian.
That was him. He was the main one until that Johnny Cochran came around.
My friend Miguel knows everything about OJ and the case and all of the weird things, so he would be really good in this instance. But I haven't even seen the Netflix thing. Never mind any other thing.
I was listening to a podcast earlier, so I'm going to give away something that's on someone else's podcast. and it's about the sequence of events that made the Kardashians famous.
Oh yeah.
And it all comes down to one NFL game. Okay, it's something like the Buffalo Bills or something. Someone dropped a catch to win a game, and if they'd have won that game, they wouldn't have got the first pick in the draft, which means they wouldn't have got O.J. Simpson, which means he would have gone to somewhere else, and he wouldn't have killed Nicole Brown, and would have got the Kardashians famous. If this one person had caught a catch.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
That is mad. And technically it's a bit of a cunt, because in a world that the Kardashians are famous, God knows.
Remember recently it came out that Kylie Jenner is nearly a billionaire and she's 20 years old. And
yeah.
So there was a discussion about that in my work, and my manager was like, imagine that, nearly $1 billion, just because her sister made a sex tape. And I was like, hold on a minute, like counting on my fingers, looking at my wrist, trying to figure out how the fuck he's come to that conclusion. And I was like, wait a minute, if that's true, then get your sister to make a sex tape and you will have $1 billion. You can't just say, all because of the sex tape. Because if that were true, then you would just make your own. Like, it's just, man, people just don't give things enough credit. You know what I mean?
think people don't realise how, like, vacuous the women in that family are, though. Look at every man that's ever been a part of that family and how fucked
Look at poor old Bruce Jenner.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say that anymore.
Sorry, look at poor old...
It is Bruce. Yeah,
Caitlyn.
It is Bruce Jenner that became Caitlyn Jenner, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
What was I gonna say before?
He was kind of like the John Cena of his day, which is weird, but like kind of not John. Well, no, not John Cena. What do I mean? I said John Cena. I meant Michael Phelps. Why did I say John Cena?
Oh well, John Cena is better than all of them. But,
that's true.
Yeah. I read actually. No, I watched. Caitlyn Jenner gave a speech at the Web Summit in Lisbon this year, and in it she said that there were constantly like tabloid headlines of like Bruce Jenner found cross-dressing or whatever, and it's mad to me that like back then that was a thing where it was reported like, whoa, look at this fucking guy, he's dressed up like a woman, how crazy is that? And now it's like, look, this is a woman and we all accept her for being a woman. Times have done changed. What was I going to say there before all of that? I was going to say two things. One is that I'll give away a Midnight Hour mug to anyone who comments anything on this video or on the podcast or whatever.
Your mug is safe.
Yeah, your mug is safe. Yeah, just leave a comment. That's all you need to do to enter. And the second thing was, I'll tell you a movie that I did see recently that has a Chinese influence and is terrible, is The Meg with Jason Statham.
Is that a good terrible or bad terrible?
It's absolutely good terrible. It's
good. I'm looking forward to that then.
Genuinely, really enjoyable the whole way through, and I'm so glad that I paid actual money to go see it.
Of course, it's Jason Statham.
Yeah. Well, you know what he did before he was an actor, don't you?
He was a dive board person.
Yeah, he was the Michael Phelps of his day.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, no, it's a really good movie though. You should definitely go see it. It's also got Dwight from The Office in it, and it's just I don't know, it's a mess. Like the dialogue in it is complete fucking garbage. But
I mean, the premise of the story is that essentially, like, Jason Statham like kicks a prehistoric shark in the face, pretty much.
Punches it in the face to death. Yeah.
As you would.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've all, like, who among us has not done that, or at least contemplated doing that at some point in their lives, you know?
I did it. I just didn't get a film made about it.
No, you ended up in jail.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the reasons why Jack's in jail? No, we shouldn't.
Nah.
So,
Technically, still under wraps. Don't Tommy Robinson me and fuck my trial up. There'll be no reporting on my trial.
He'll get a good interview with Tucker Carlson after, and he'll. Do you watch any interviews with Tucker Carlson?
I do not.
I just know
I try
about
not to stay away from that stuff.
He looks fucking disgusted the whole time. He does this thing like he like crinkles his forehead a bit, and his mouth is like open at like a frown thing, as if he's about to interrupt someone and say, what are you talking about? Like, he's just very, like, it's like he's furious the whole way through it, even if he's talking to someone that he likes. But anyway, the last time we all spoke was the World Cup episode, and Loosemore boldly stated that Germany weren't going to make it out of their group. And
That's mad.
We ridiculed him for it.
Yeah,
And rightfully so.
I still will.
Yeah, it was a stupid thing
It's
to
still
say,
a stupid
Loosemore. Yeah.
prediction. It's still stupid, yeah.
You fucking idiot.
I think I even said something like Harry Kane might get like top goal scorer because he'll take penalties, and that was pretty close as well.
You thought it'd be Lukaku at first, though.
I did, yeah, that's true.
Who did I say?
We both said Neymar, me and you.
Yeah, silly bastard.
Yes. Yeah, that was a hell of a
Whose
tournament.
idea was that?
Oh, it was a good World Cup, yeah.
You guys
It
proud?
was, because I was drunk for about 3 weeks straight, so...
Yeah,
I mean, proud as any nation can be to finish 4th out of 32.
That's true, yeah. I was, frankly, appalled by Jordan Pickford trying to portray himself as some kind of Conor McGregor on the pitch.
I loved how fucking mad he went.
I don't, because
Like,
it was the most
just
blatantly
offering
fake,
out every
like,
person around.
this is a man who clearly has an older brother who looked after him in school, so he's never had to deal with people actually calling him on it. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have a lot of time for that kind of nonsense now, to be quite honest with you.
I'll tell you what I did like. When we beat Colombia, did you see like when we beat them in the penalty shootout? Did you see our players turning around to him as they ran away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was John Stones and Harry Maguire giving him it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did the Ronaldo celebration. Pickford.
Yeah,
did.
which is a bit weird.
It was a bit weird, yeah. But what are you gonna do?
Because he couldn't be less Ronaldo.
That's true. There is literally not a less Ronaldo man than him. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm really glad that my prediction about France's manager being a fraud and them not going to do well turned out to be...
That was correct.
Yeah, spot on.
And I still stand by that too. I think he is a fraud, and I don't think France played with a single bit of, tactical strategy at any stage. I think their players just happened to be good enough. Like, I don't know.
It was a weird World Cup insofar as I don't think the final was played because if it was maybe Belgium versus Brazil, like that quarterfinal was Belgium-Brazil, wasn't it? You could argue that those were probably the two best teams because that might have been the best game.
I think Croatia were the best.
Yeah, actually, no, that's a good shout, Croatia. Yeah, but yeah, we kind of got there, and we weren't technically the 4th best team there, and France probably weren't the best, but I think that's just how the draw worked out.
Yeah. It was kind of like almost an underwhelming event in that case because nobody really performed well. None of the big teams did, apart from even France didn't. I don't know. There's
some bad games. Like that fucking Denmark game was shit. That's because they were both qualified.
Yeah, that was bad.
The game they played against Argentina was great, but that's only because Argentina are so bad that they made them look great, if that makes sense.
Argentina were like the Meg, terrible in a great way.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best thing about the World Cup was? Maradona still being a mad cunt doing all of the drugs.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
He did more drugs in 3 weeks than I have in 27 years.
I think just more drugs in that game, wasn't it? Like, it was fucking mental.
He had to get rushed to hospital for celebrating.
He's like passing drugs to like other fans and that. It was fucking glorious.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this because you're English, but like when you're at mass and the priest does that thing with like the weird powder thing and he claps his hands together and does the decanting thing.
I thought that was just weightlifters.
Yeah, we'll go with that actually instead. That's Maradona, but with cocaine instead of talcum powder or whatever.
He has lifted a surprising weight of cocaine.
Yeah.
Up into his nose.
Yeah, what a man. He's It's crazy that he was once the best footballer. Like, can you imagine Fat Messi 20 years from now snorting lines off the fucking stand?
It's fucking. He's an amazing man.
He is. Yeah.
He's a cunt. He's a massive cunt.
But he's kind of the epitome of the like 80s, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Like
he is.
There's the video of him, like he's in the exhibition game in America. His mate runs onto the pitch and gives him some fucking coke. It's superb. It's what I'd be if I was a footballer.
If you went into like a fucking HMV or something, or some shop that exists nowadays, and there was like a special edition Scarface with Maradona on the cover, you'd be like,
I'd buy it.
That was released, wasn't it? That's the
that makes
Maradona
sense.
Scarface. That's a thing, isn't it? Yeah.
You wouldn't question it too much.
No,
you give it a glance and be like, "Nah, that makes sense."
That makes sense, exactly. Yeah. This is what I've come to expect. There was another thing that I had the urge to talk about that is now old news, and you probably neither of you care about it or even know anything about it, and Aaron would have been better to talk about this, but the KSI Logan Paul fight.
I obviously didn't see it.
Okay.
I knew it existed.
You didn't watch it, no?
No.
I have no issue with it being like a big event. Like some people are going, it's just two people who don't box.
Yeah.
But I think like the numbers they did, it's different obviously because of their fan base and stuff like that. Like you can't hate on them for fucking making a shitload of money for themselves.
It is weird because I do kind of think that we should do more of this, like really famous people fighting.
Same.
I know in America they've got that Barstool do a rough and rowdy thing now, which is normal people. They do that whole night of just normal people having fights, and it is good, and they get decent numbers just because it's not very good. If you go out and you see two blokes fighting, you watch it because it's fucking funny.
See, what I like about it is that like the fact that it isn't actually two pro boxers is great, because to be honest with you, and I'll get a lot of heat for this, but I'm prepared for it, boxing is fucking shite. Like, it is the most boring combat sport ever. I've seen like 4 boxing matches ever, and one of them was that Tyson Fury Klitschko fight, which was just complete fucking terrible.
It was terrible.
And another thing is that like I kind of know KSI. I've met him a couple of times, so there's like something in it in that sense for me. And like I've met like most of the people who were at ringside and all. Like it kind of just felt like something to me. Like, oh, that's a person that I know in a fight. And then the other thing was that Logan Paul I find him really interesting because of the whole fact that he's like this super mega celebrity guy, and then he did that thing with the body in the forest, and there's like this really weird sort of redemption angle with him, but like he's almost too fucking stupid to know. And I don't know, it was like that whole thing.
And also he was big as fuck. Like he looked like what's his face from Rocky 3.
He looks like Sage Northcutt, except he's probably actually bigger than him somehow. Like
he looked huge. Like it was ridiculous.
Massive, yeah. He's I'm glad because I watched I got very into this, and KSI was being like the very confident like Conor McGregor type of, oh, I'm going to do this, and then when I do this I'm going to do, like trying to predict it as he goes, like that kind of thing that people do. And Logan Paul gave him a seriously like a rude awakening, and I think that's good because I don't really like the idea of KSI just beating the shit out of YouTubers left, right, and center. But if he is going to be cocky about it, like I do want to see him get a challenge. And I kind of like, it's really weird because I think Logan Paul is quite possibly a deplorable person. I don't know a lot about him, but I'm fairly sure that I have nothing in common with him, that I'd never be able to have a single conversation with him, and that most of his stories are made up and end in bro and stuff like that. But I was kind of like rooting for him in some weird way. Like I wanted him to win, and I wanted him to just be a better person, and I thought that this event could like be the catalyst for that.
Yeah, because I mean I don't know. I didn't watch the fight, but it sounds like it would have been a great story arc.
Yeah,
like he comes out at the end with like Rocky, like he's come from the bottom, like he took a photo of a suicide in Japan or something, didn't he? That's why everyone hates him.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I guess it was disrespectful.
It was. I made a video about it, and I can't really remember what I said at all, so I don't know why I said that. But I think the gist of it would have been something to the effect of like, it's fucking disrespectful, man. Seriously, have a word with yourself. And then,
But he just kind of looked like the guy that would, like, he probably doesn't think a great deal about his actions. Don't you think just by looking at him, he looks a bit like...
yeah, he's a moron.
Yeah.
But also, True Geordie interviewed him for his podcast, and True Geordie did a better job of selling this fight to me than anybody else, because the press conferences or whatever the fucking joke of a thing with the two of them just shouting abuse at each other was horrendous. But True Geordie
I know that Shannon Briggs was involved, isn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
He's a fucking knob end of the highest order.
I don't know anything about him, to be honest. I wasn't really too keen on many of
He
the
just
people.
goes around the world saying, let's go damp to everyone.
Yeah, that was... Well, Michael Buffer was there. He's great. Big fan of him.
That's just a bit mad, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah. But then you remember he was on WCW in 1998, so
I don't know what that was.
It was slightly better than the KSI Logan Paul. But like True Geordie was like trying to like craft and cultivate a story around Logan Paul while he was talking to him, and he made a really good point that like Logan Paul's really immature and he has never had to deal with death in his life, so like seeing a dead body he just didn't know how to react, and he kind of got awkward and made jokes about it, and like that came off really well. But then True Geordie,
which you sort of understand.
Yeah, I do understand, and I did, and I kind of sympathized with him a bit, but I also just think he genuinely is a stupid man, and I don't feel like that's controversial either. Like, I think he's a good businessman or whatever, but I don't think he has much personality. I don't think he stands for anything, and I don't think he thinks too deeply about anything from one day to the next. And then his brother, Jake, seems to have a hole in his brain the size of a fucking orange. True Geordie was talking to him, and he was like, and how does your girlfriend feel about you being in the ring? Is she going to watch? And Jake Paul tried to say something like, yeah, well, you know, it's going to be difficult for her. She's going to be watching the person that she loves getting hurt, and there's like an obvious sense of risk there. But instead what he said was, oh, man, bro, you're like in a ring, and it's like, yeah, no, it could be bad, man, dude. Like, it, you know, when people are like hurt, like, that's not good. Like, it's just like, oh, seriously, man. He seems like he has brain damage. Like, I don't know. His entrance was super cool, though. Fair play to him for that. And the whole, like, he has a chain.
His music?
I think it was, I don't know, but the person who sings it came to the ring with him. And it's like a fucking, like, 8-year-old girl with dreads. And she raps. And then he was wearing like a Bane mask and a gold chain that said "fuck Jake Paul" on it, which I just really respect. No matter what I think of the guy, I think
you just like embrace it, did you not?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't like think of myself as better than these people in any way, and I'm totally down for the whole circus thing that they bring. But yeah, like it was super fucking entertaining, the whole thing. And I respect and appreciate it, and I paid fucking €8 for it, and I would do it again. So fair play to everybody involved. And True Geordie at ringside on commentary was great too. And also Joe Weller was at ringside. And do you know him?
I'm aware of him.
He's like just a fucking lad in it. And there's this other guy, Lawrence, who's like True Geordie's friend, and Lawrence is like, I don't know how. He's like a very like proper commentator who fully embraced the fact that he was the play-by-play commentator, and he was like, yeah, Jake Paul entering the ring, of course he's going to go up against Deji, KSI's brother, what do you make of that, Joe? And Joe was like, it's fucking mental, mate, innit? Like, I think, mate, like, if you were to fuck it, I mean, mate, honestly, I don't know. Oh, such a circus. I love YouTube.
The only one I am aware of that group of people, and I think he's fucking hilarious, but I don't really know why, is that Stephen Tries.
I don't even know him.
Do you not?
No, genuinely don't. That's really rare for me, because like I'm very aware of most of those people, but I don't know him.
The ginger kid who did like How to Be Storms in that years ago.
Nah, I honestly don't know him.
No.
I don't know why, but I find him hilarious.
Isn't it weird?
If you search a picture, you'd recognise him.
Let's see. I bet you I won't.
Stephen Tries.
What were you going to say, Loosemore?
It's just weird that YouTube is like kind of the Wild West at the moment. Like there's no rules. Like
I know.
No. It's weird because like back in the day, like it's that major celebrities who had like beefs with each other, they didn't step into a boxing ring. They kind of just called each other cunts, and that was it. But now it's like, if you genuinely don't like each other on YouTube, you fight each other, and people pay you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh. But I feel like it's going to keep going this way. Like, there's no rules. They can pretty much get away with what they want because they know they're not going to lose fans over it. In fact, they're going to gain more popularity along the way. So it's, it's very strange.
I am kind of like a dignified man in most senses, and like here I am full on into this, hyped, fucking buying the fight, staying at home on a Saturday night to watch it. It's very odd. But
you might just be a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Mentally, I definitely haven't really graduated. Yeah. But it's cool. Like, no one could have predicted the boxing / YouTube crossover. No. But I'm here for it. It's great. I'm right there.
Do you think they'll make the jump to UFC? Like, I'm full.
No,
it's a completely different. I don't think their sort of fan base. I don't think they'd understand it.
Yeah, but they don't. You wouldn't thought they'd understand boxing.
Look.
Boxing's very simplified, isn't it? It's just two blokes punching each other. It's not two blokes fucking wrestling down on the floor.
That's why they do boxing, is because like they're not
simple.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think Logan Paul originally wanted an MMA fight because he's a fucking wrestler.
He was a wrestler, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was like 4th in Ohio State in high school wrestling, but he's that means nothing. Like in any like fighting sense. Like fucking CM Punk got like one of the best training camps you could possibly have twice. He got it twice, and he got fucking mauled by people, and it was like all that training almost made him worse in the ring or something like that. So I don't think you'll see Logan Paul making that transition, and even if he did for one fight or one big payday, I'd definitely watch, but I just can't really see them going for that after the whole CM Punk fiasco, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd get in the ring with anybody for like...
Oh, I just wanted to cross over to SoundCloud rappers.
I don't care about any of them enough, you see.
Yeah, but I just think it would be funny to like, a lot of them to get like punched in the face.
Yeah. I agree. If you had to fight one YouTuber in a boxing match, who would it be?
Don't know, like the kid who said Chocolate Rain, probably, or something like that.
Okay, racist. What about you, Jack?
I've never really hated YouTubers. I've never had that sort of. There's ones that annoy me, like Cal Freezer always seems like a bit of a twat.
Did you ever meet him?
I don't really know. No. No, I don't. Did I?
I think you might have, maybe. He was.
It might have been there when I was coming to Net once.
Yeah, because I think you did. I swear you did meet him one time. I was in Nep's house with Cal Freezy, and we were both kind of staying there for a while. And I think you came over one day and we played FIFA.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That was probably. I'll probably watch his videos after that and probably thought, Jesus Christ, kid's a twat.
And you wanted to fight
I don't know
him
why he came across like that. He might not be. He probably isn't. But
no comment.
That means he is.
You'd fight Cal Freezy?
I don't fight people.
I have his number. I can make it happen. I'm gonna call him up right now and say you're calling him out.
He won't know who I am.
Yeah, you won't make enough money, I don't think. I don't think you're a draw. Although, to be fair, you are the best thing about this podcast. So you would have, like, a strong fucking following of, like...
300 people.
Yeah.
You want numbers, Cal Freeze? I'll give you fucking numbers.
No one would fight you. Like, I wouldn't fight you. And I think you're a little bitch, but just your accent...
All right. I'd be alright, because I'm quite big.
Yeah, you've got the reach advantage on me.
Yeah. I'd just kick you in the face.
I think I would headbutt you too quickly.
You wouldn't reach that high.
I think you'd be surprised.
I don't think I would be.
If I had to fight one YouTuber, I think it would be... Do I have to? I'm the one who made the rules of this question, haven't I?
Yeah.
I mean, you can put them as whatever you like.
I'd like to fight Keemstar, but like, I'm good enough to beat him. You know what I mean? That's what I think I would like to have happen in this situation. Or no,
Has it
no.
gone from like being hated to not being hated?
Huh?
It's like, because I swear people used to hate him, and now people don't really hate him that much.
He's redeemed himself, but also, so there's a neat little Venn diagram, right, where there is Keemstar's redemption and also the world getting more and more terrible, and the two of them overlap to make the popularity that he has now. So like,
It's not a coincidence.
He's only gotten about 5% better as a person, but the world has gotten about 55% worse.
Right, I see.
So in that space is where Keemstar operates, and it's just a matter of like the stars' alignment that is meant.
Yeah, it's just really timing.
Yeah.
He's really not improved that much.
Pretty much, yeah. He is, and like he's a genuinely a bad person, and I think I'm allowed to say that because I'm also a bad person. And if I'm a bad person, he's a very, very, very bad person, because I've never said some of the things that he has said. But all of that is stuff. I'd probably fight fucking Paul Joseph Watson. He's who I'd fight. I'd fucking love to fight him, and I'd love.
If including people like them, yeah, I'd fucking smack Alex Jones around the fucking ring.
Yeah,
in his fucking weird voice box.
I like Alex Jones.
Really?
Well, like, no, obviously not. He's a fucking complete and utter scumbag.
You like the idea of him? Just
I
not
do.
The things that come out of his fucking mouth.
It's very odd with him, right? Because I genuinely think that there's something inherently innocent and sweet about Alex Jones, even though he is a fucking war criminal level of like moral garbage waste man, and he's said.
But isn't he just the guy just yelling into the void, just hoping that someone has the same fucking
but some of the
terrible
shit he said is like really it has had some terrible like consequences.
But it's not their fucking school shootings are fake and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like Rogan like goes on about him
like
Rogan talks about having drinks with him and he's like he's a good guy.
Yeah,
like,
so
and all
does
that
John
stuff. But then
Ronson.
he gets on his show and he just yells about like
interdimensional
shit.
Hitler was probably nice to some people.
That's true. He was really kind to his dog apparently.
Yeah, and his niece, who he fucked.
Did he?
Yeah, pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure I read that
Dirty
somewhere.
bastard.
Yeah. I mean, we all would.
Fucking sexy nieces.
That's the name of the podcast.
There's always a quote. Fucking. What's the other thing I was going to say? Alex Jones, right? So Alex Jones was recently. I'm going to like tangle a bunch of shit up here, and all of the right wing listeners are going to get very angry at me for a minute. But just let me finish my point for a second, you fucking weird cunt. No, just kidding. Alex Jones got banned off everything. Infowars got banned off everything, right? And
rightly so.
So the economy of YouTube free speech speakers right now are like right wingers or radical centrists or whatever, right? But they are like absolutely dominating the culture war online. It's all like, you know, people like Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and all these people. Like, these are the ones who have the floor basically, and no one can take it from them because no one from the other side will even talk to them, because to do so, in their opinion, would be fucking normalizing hatred or whatever. So Alex Jones' Infowars gets banned, and all of these right wingers and centrists come out of the woodwork and say this is ridiculous. He shouldn't be banned. Freedom of speech. Blah 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 blah. And then Nike say Colin Kaepernick is now the face of Nike, and all of a sudden, this is terrible. This is he fucking says all of this shit that isn't even true. This is disgraceful. I'm not going to be buying Nike anymore. Nike shouldn't be doing this and all. And it's like.
But isn't it just narrative that each side is changing the narrative to the point where like you don't really understand what the original point anyone was trying to make in the first place? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's so skewered.
Did you see this thing about the New Yorker festival or whatever the fuck it is, that they were inviting Steve Bannon to speak, and what was going to happen was it was going to be Steve Bannon on stage being interviewed by a journalist, a left-wing journalist, right? And all these comedians were like, nah, we're not doing this. If he's coming, then we're not going, because to talk to him would be to normalize white supremacy, right? It's like, I don't like Steve Bannon, and he may very well be a white supremacist. I don't know. I've never seen the literature that proves that he is or whatever. But like, if you think his ideas are that bad, then surely having them dismantled on stage is exactly what you want. But like, nobody wants to fucking talk to each other anymore. Like, the divide is just going to get deeper and deeper because people are just like, oh, I'm not going to talk to him, not going to buy Nike anymore, not going to fucking, like, it's stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because both sides are like, well, you know, if we give them airtime, we're normalizing their opinion. And you think, well, yeah, but just you have to come to a point where you both come to the center. Otherwise, you can't speak to each other. So by that sheer fact, you are going more and more apart, which is exactly what you don't want.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Saying that giving someone a platform is going to normalize their opinion is fucking retarded. Like, that is just a stupid fucking idea, a concept. Like, there's no possible way that could make any sense. Like, the people who call into James O'Brien on LBC and get dismantled by him, you know, like the pro-Brexit people who haven't a clue about Brexit.
It's superb.
Yeah,
I fucking love them videos.
So by the people who are pulling out of the Steve Bannon thing's logic, James O'Brien, by talking to them, is normalizing bigotry. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Or by giving them a platform.
Yeah, exactly. It just holds no weight as a concept. Like, it's nonsense.
I do think it's weird that they jumped on the Nike thing, because it doesn't make a great deal. Like, because Kaepernick, obviously, he kneeled to protest a thing about police brutality on black kids. And then the president decided that his narrative was going to be that he hates America, and that by that logic, the troops is what represent America, and therefore he hates the troops, I guess. And then...
yeah.
But it's also like he could take that to any nth degree. Like, well, he hates Star Wars. He hates like, you know what I mean? Like, just because he hates America, he hates everything.
He hates Star Wars.
But then,
he hates the Jews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You get people are mad because they're just like, oh, it's disrespecting our troops and stuff like that. And you go on Twitter and you see like someone who's in the army just like replying, just saying, like, I'm in the army, like, I totally respect him for what he's doing and shit like that. Then the person who replied going, oh, you don't speak for everyone. It's like, but you said it's disrespecting the army, so you are trying to speak for everyone by saying they're the fucking weirdest cunts in the world. And
also,
I know
it's just a really
we've got
good
one cunt who listens to us, haven't we? Who's a fucking conservative, haven't we?
We've got several. Yeah.
They're all cunts. Fuck them all.
Okay. Well, depending on how committed they are to the concept of free speech, they will understand that me giving Jack a platform is not me normalizing his opinion.
I do not. You do not. These are not your opinions.
Exactly.
But it's weird because like me and Elle both like listen to a lot of like not right wing, but right of center, like populist people online, like Jordan Peterson and people like that, and they make a lot of sense. That's not to say that I'm anyway not a liberal, because I pretty much am. But like, it's very strange that people like want you to pick sides and not be like, well, you have to be this thing, you have to believe in this thing, and it's just very strange. Like, I don't know.
Speaking of that, Dave Rubin, famed free speech warrior and very clever man, has
genius.
Yeah, brain genius.
He's an intellect.
He has this new fucking thing coming out called Rubin Selects or something, which sounds like a fucking type of chicken meal from a restaurant. And
is it Rubin's Book Club? That's what it sounds like.
So it's going to be a forum, right?
Okay.
That is behind a paywall that you can access by subscribing to his Patreon and giving him money, okay? And the idea behind this, because he's a free speech absolutist, is that people will embrace long-form conversation with people who have much different opinions from theirs. And I'm thinking about that idea and the fact that they're all going to be supporters of Dave Rubin. I don't think their opinions are going to differ very much on many fucking things. Like,
no.
It's like... There's some
Isn't
video.
it just a kind of way to get his fans to give him money?
Well, Loosemore, I don't think I would accuse Dave Rubin, of all people, of trying to make money from his opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I think that guy, I used to recommend him to people and think he was great, and then I realized that he is just a parrot and he has no interest in discussion with the other side. He only has interest in having Ben Shapiro on his show talk about how healthcare should not be allowed for the poor. No, just kidding. That's a joke. But you know what I mean?
It's weird when they're on the show together. Like the way Dave Rubin looks at fucking Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
I think half these right wing people, not saying all of them are obviously right wing, but they know that they can monetize the saying incredibly stupid things. They know they'll get a base of people that will fucking listen to them for whatever reason. They just monetize it as soon as they can.
I don't even think that's controversial. Like, I 100% believe that, in spite of how clever I think Jordan Peterson is, that he's absolutely monetizing Christianity. And I think he's deliberately trying to appeal to Christians, and I think he's deliberately refusing to clarify his position on religion because he thinks that to do so would hinder his Christian audience from funding him. Like, the dude is getting like 60 grand a month or something on his Patreon, and Sam Harris is there on stage with him saying, like, why can't you say that you think the resurrection happened or it didn't? And Jordan Peterson is like, to answer such a question I would require 40 hours, man. You can't, I need 40 hours to answer that question. Just fucking say yes or no. That's literally all we're asking for. But he has to be like, well, on a metaphysical level, there's a lot of truth in the idea. You know, you got to dig down into.
That's a really good impression.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. But like, that's what he's like, and it's just, you can't just say fucking yes or no because he has to keep pandering. I genuinely believe that. Happy to discuss that with anyone who disagrees.
That's what Donald Trump does, though. He just appeals to his base.
Yeah.
He knows that he can get enough votes and enough support just from saying these mad things because there's enough people that will believe it. He won't, like when they had the white supremacists in Charlottesville, or whether it's Charlotte, who fucking run over that person, and he took forever to come out with a quote or whatever, to come out with a statement saying that it was like, the first thing he said was, oh, there's good people on both sides. It's what fucking white supremacists and liberals saying there's good people on both sides. And it took him like days after that to come out and say, oh, yeah, these white supremacists are wrong, because he knows he can't say that because that's half of his base.
Yeah, I don't think that's controversial either. Like,
no.
He literally had to be like, fine, Nazis are bad.
Fine,
Jeez.
they are horrible people.
Yeah.
I remember one of the quotes from that was him saying, what about the alt-left attacking the alt-right? It's like, I don't know. I think
that wasn't what happened.
What about the decent people? I don't know. Yeah.
Look at the alt-left attacking the right wing with fucking facts. How dare they?
What about I don't know anything about the Colin Kaepernick thing, right? Like, I don't watch NFL, and from what I understand, his stats are actually pretty good for a backup guy. But he thinks that the NFL...
he's a really good... He's not. No, well, I was going to say, he's a really good quarterback for him not playing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he could easily get on a shit NFL team, but they won't touch him now because of his political stance.
This is the thing, right, that I don't get. So, the main counter... And we'll get off because I actually fucking hate talking about politics, to be honest. And this isn't even politics. This is all the shit that
I'm changing to my headphones quickly.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Right.
Do you want us to wait, or... We'll wait. I'll edit this out.
But what about the other stuff? You're going to edit that out? So.
I'm going to edit everything
Can
out.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, brother.
That's better. Fucking hell.
So people don't like the fact that all of the big companies like Google and fucking Twitter and Apple and whatever, they all decided at once, let's get InfoWars off our fucking platforms. But people have no issue with let's just say the possibility of every NFL team saying, we don't want this guy on our team, he's bad for business. The president doesn't like him, the vice president leaves the game if he kneels in the middle of the anthem or whatever.
He's not him. He started it, basically. He started it, and then he was let go by the team that he was on. He's actually suing the NFL and the teams because they won't hire him.
It's the NFL. It's the NFL that's preventing teams from signing.
Yeah.
It's not.
So that's
he could be a starting quarterback for like the bottom 25 at best.
The Buffalo Bills or somebody shit.
They go Cleveland Browns stuff for them.
Yeah. So that is literally a fundamental free speech issue, right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And there is. He originally started by sitting down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got told by a veteran that sitting down is ruder. Said go on one knee, and so he started doing that to have respect.
Wow.
But yeah.
I don't like the guy. He doesn't.
Other players in the NFL, it became sort of everybody did it, and then like the president decided to change the narrative that they weren't protesting because he effectively he was doing it to protest. I don't know what the incident was, but the black kid who got shot by the police.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name.
No.
There's been so many.
Yeah.
I recognise it. I was told it, but.
Yeah. But. And then that was changed to the whole thing about the troops, and it's just very strange.
Yeah.
But Trump brings it up to rile up his base.
Well, he does it to divert.
Trump
he does it to divert attention. Like, so if something happens with him, and he's like, he fires somebody in his staff, or something about Russia comes out, Trump will tweet about the NFL because he knows that will distract mainstream media and everything else away from the fact that he's actually a fucking monster, and they'll attack,
I think that.
Kaepernick or whatever. But
I don't like Colin Kaepernick has spoken for about 7 minutes in total about what his actual opinion is and what he's actually doing, and like I honestly don't really know what he's talking about and whether or not I agree or disagree. I couldn't give a fuck. And I don't really get why. I just don't really understand the whole thing. And him being on Nike does not affect me in either way. They're a fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation that use sweatshops and stuff. And if the reason why you're boycotting them is because they've put him as their face, then I don't know.
Your priorities are fucking
Look
wrong.
at your life, yeah. There was a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. One of them being the new Eminem album. Have either of you listened to it?
I've listened.
I didn't catch that. Sorry, you cut out a bit.
I've listened through it once.
Is it any use? Because I'm too afraid to listen to it because the last one was complete garbage.
It's better than the last one.
Yeah.
But has he got a lot of heat from people because he had a diss track about everybody?
He just fucking attacks everyone.
Yeah, but he doesn't attack anyone of consequence, really. Like, I want to hear him attacking fucking Lil Wayne or like, I know he said something about Lil Pump. I don't really care about. Like, I want to hear him go at somebody who, like, I'd love to hear him slag Jay-Z and be like, yo.
There's someone who's fucking massive.
Yeah, exactly. Kanye won't do a diss track, so there's no point in doing that. Maybe like Drake or someone. Like, that would be good. Although I think everyone should leave Drake alone after what Pusha T did to him. But
like the album, like, as a rapper, there is no one better than him.
Yeah.
That sort of comes through on the album, just from what he said. It is back to his older stuff rather than there's lots of shit. It is definitely better.
He's a bad rapper in the sense that he's really good at rapping, but he's bad at literally every other aspect of being a rapper. Like, he picks the worst beats out of any of the major rappers. He doesn't really know his way around a hook at all. He always merges these random 80s rock classics into his tracks. His lyrics are just fucking nonsensical, and while they rhyme together very well, they don't mean anything. And it seems as though he's just very angry at the media for not saying that he's great, and it's just odd. And also, he called Tyler, the Creator, a faggot. Well, no, he didn't technically, but whatever. I like that he had something to say about Machine Gun Kelly, though. I feel like that guy really does need to be taken down a peg or two.
I don't know who that is. I've heard of him, but I don't know who it is.
He's in the movie Nerve.
Never seen it.
He plays.
Isn't he
Nerve.
just a really tall guy with tattoos?
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, he's a really cool man with tattoos, and also.
If you were to tell me someone's called Machine Gun Kelly, that is exactly what I imagine he would look like.
Like Machine Gun Kelly is a really old gangster movie that I used to love, and I'm just not about this. I don't know how old he is. I assume he's younger than me, and I'm just not about him. Like,
I feel like Machine Gun Kelly is if you mixed Post Malone with Vanilla Ice. That's kind of what that's how you would if that's how picture him like that, Joe.
That is very, 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 very accurate. Both stylistically and sound wise. That is that is a great comparison you've just done.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that I was gonna mention was this whole Twitter abuse thing that's going on. Have you guys been keeping up with this? I mean,
I get abused on
people
Twitter all the
abusing people
time.
on Twitter.
yeah, it's from West Ham fans.
Yeah. Well, they deserve it. They're scumbags.
So people have been abusing people on Twitter? What?
Allegedly.
No way. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
You don't want to libel anyone, better say allegedly.
It's basically like this thing about Twitter that there's not a proper list of rules in place that are actually enforced in any consistent way. So, like, on one hand, you have everyone on the right saying, "Oh, Alex Jones, banned, whatever," and then people on the left are like, "Nazis literally roam free on Twitter and send racist abuse and all sorts to people," and then they report them and they get messages back saying, like, "This doesn't violate our community rules. Sorry." And
I know that like people were trying to pull because fucking Donald Trump called someone a dog on Twitter. People like trying to report him for him. There's like enough in their rules that it's not technically abuse or something.
I mean, yeah, that shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I hate all of this.
Supporters going, it's not abusive, it's true.
As much as I hate Donald Trump, I hate the the plan to take him down way more than I hate him. Like, oh, let's use the 25th Amendment and show that he's incompetent. Oh, let's do this. Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah,
he's the president.
Vote
and
him
that's
out,
that.
you fucking idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fucking deal
He's
with
in
it.
there because so many of you didn't fucking vote.
Not my president. Well, he fucking is your president.
He technically is, because he's technically the president of the United States.
Yeah.
He couldn't be more your president.
Exactly. Yeah. And like the fucking op-ed that came out in the fucking New York Times and the book from that Woodward guy. It's just shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, just.
It is strange that the left are trying really, really fucking hard to take him down. When if you just leave him alone for the next 4 years, he'll take himself down.
2 years.
Like he's not gonna.
He might not even make it out of it. Like the all these investigations that are going on and stuff like that. Like, you have to.
It's a bit fucking mad.
Yeah.
All that investigation is fucking insane.
I find I used to read a lot about Watergate and Nixon and just Nixon's presidency in general and how crazy he was. And
I don't know much about it, but from what I do since a couple of podcasts, and they say like the days it is at the moment does sound, or the shit that he comes out with now sounds a lot like last days of Nixon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a bit sort of mob. He's just a mob boss, like, and he always has been kind of, and that's kind of how he's running, how he runs his business, how he runs the White House, and that was never going to work out in a city that is predominantly, especially journalists and whatever else.
It's like if it like this investigation, like last week, he was implicated in 2 felonies by his fucking old lawyer. Any other president, and he'd not maybe be out, but this would still be fucking front page news, even in our country.
To be fair, like, his tweet about Michael Cohen was great.
A lot of his tweets are great. He has this one tweet.
Don't retain your services, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Like, if you want a good lawyer, don't hire Michael Cohen, which is just brilliant.
He has one tweet where it's like, your favorite president, and then in brackets, me.
Me. Yeah. But that's not funny on purpose.
It's like drill.
Yeah.
I love the times of his of his tweets. They're just like, for us, they're like 12 o'clock every day, because he gets up at 7 and puts on Fox News.
I know, yeah. It's so fucking, like, you could time it to the second if you were watching.
Yeah, I'll be having lunch at work and I'll just go on his Twitter, like, I'm waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. Oh man, it's great. Yeah, it's top quality entertainment. I'd hate to be over there, because to be honest with you, the whole thing is frustrating from
I find it hard to criticise him as a country for voting him in, Because look what we've done with our fucking votes the last few years.
Yeah.
But
honestly, the state is.
yeah.
Sometimes because that's so distracting, I forget that like our own house is on fire, which is kind of nice.
You're the little dog saying everything is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a great time to be Irish. It's a great time for a lot of things in my life that have historically hindered me in ways that I didn't really understand. Because like I always, so like obviously I'm a Celtic fan, but when it comes to the Premier League, I support Spurs. And all my life I have people telling me stuff like, yeah, you support Spurs, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's all Man United fans in Ireland. And now Spurs are like really good at football, and they can't fall back on that anymore, because like Spurs are probably as good as United, or based on the other night, like a lot better. And another thing is like English people like, oh yeah, well, you're from Ireland, you have an inferiority complex. And now like, nope, it's a pretty good time to be Irish as well. Obviously neither of you will agree, but
yeah, I'm in New York in a couple of times, so I'm gonna go and have a right old sort out.
When are you going over? I'm going over there this probably in the next 2 or 3 months.
I'm like 2 weeks.
Right.
19th, right go.
I won't see you there.
But yeah, I'm gonna have a sort out. I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this.
I'd love it if the Midnight Hour was like a proper like body or organization, and
I'll be a roaming reporter.
Yeah. Like on like, you know, like what Vice is, where they fucking send cunts off to Colombia to investigate a new strand of cocaine that blows your brain when you snort it or something. Like we could just be like, we're gonna send Jack off to Africa.
We go live now to
the
Times
locals.
Square, where Jack is buying cocaine from a homeless person.
Yeah.
I'm in Times Square, exactly the same as it was last time. Back to you.
This is JB. Cocaine quality report.
7 on 10.
It's good.
I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, I could see it all. What was another thing? The Twitter abuse. That's how did we got to Donald Trump? You can't fucking stay away from him. He's just, you have to talk about him.
Because he dominates so much of like everything.
He puts a lasso around the narrative and pulls it towards him like a fucking.
He's a fucking genius.
He is absolutely. When it comes to navigating the press, he is a genius.
He's unbelievably good at it.
Yeah, he is.
He just happens to be a fucking disgusting human being at the same time.
I was watching the that charity event, that charity dinner thing that they have in the presidential race, where like they do some stand-up bits and stuff like that.
Oh, the correspondence.
Yeah. I was watching the Obama McCain one, and it was just great. And they're both like so cordial and classy and nice to each other. And I was watching it thinking to myself, this was just 10 years ago. And now everything is a fucking cesspool of Twitter abuse and like pseudo racial slurs, and like it's just like, what a fucking landfill we've found ourselves in.
But the whole McCain thing was weird.
Yeah, man.
Like, because he sort of redeemed himself, but only not enough really.
I like John McCain.
Because he was, if you look at what he voted for and all that, he was a terrible person.
Mm.
But I think as he got later in his life, he sort of, he didn't redeem himself, but I don't know if he sort of, he found an ounce of humanity in himself.
I don't even, like he's a fucking 82-year-old war vet who got tortured by the Vietnamese and died of brain cancer. Like, everything outwits those things. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, sure, like, some fucking morally superior human is going to come to me and point to something that he vetoed in 1987, which caused someone somewhere along the way through the butterfly effect to die or whatever. But, like, he seemed alright to me. A man who's not a policy expert. He seemed
like a much, like, considering how bad the current 70-year-old president is, like an late 70s, 8-year-old John McCain could have been much worse, and he wasn't. So I guess that's good. I mean,
I can't see him being any worse than like Mike Pence, who like Mike Pence.
Oh God, when it's come to fucking people hoping Trump gets impeached so that we can have Mike Pence instead.
Michael Pencil.
Michael Pencil.
Did you see that thing about the rappers' real names that was all over like social media?
No.
Like a week or so ago. Oh. They basically gave rappers like real like everybody was like doing their own real rapper names, and like they were doing like Cardi B was Cardigan Backyardigan, which was just the greatest thing.
Oh, I got one. Eminem's real name is Marshall Mathers. You get it? The M.
Nice.
Nice. I did one of those before that was like Bill Goldberg's real name is William Goldenberger.
Nice.
Quite proud of that.
There's I just on like the people did like did a compilation of all them names, like 50 Cent counts 50th century.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, Icelandic Cupel. There's quite a few.
Yeah, it's an oddly funny kind of format for a joke.
Yeah, I just found like Cardigan Backyardigan just immensely funny.
Yeah, that is great.
Fucking The Rock, Theodore Rocking Chair.
You have to think about that one for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I got a voice memo from Eugene the other day, and it was just him talking to Alexa, and he goes, "Alexa, what is Dwayne Johnson's nickname?" And Alexa goes, "Dwayne Johnson is sometimes known as Dwayne The Rock Johnson." And Eugene goes, "Introducing, standing 6'4", weighing 239 pounds, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I was playing Fortnite with him the other day. He's still a mad cunt as ever.
He is like the funniest fucking person that I've ever known in my entire life, and we send each other voice memos on WhatsApp all the time, and like I'll be on a bus and I'll just burst out laughing at how fucking stupid it is or whatever. He's I wish you could convert him into podcast, because I think
he is not broadcastable.
Yeah. But like people would really love it.
In no way broadcastable.
Like this show, the way like the Midnight Hour started out as like a murky, scary, swampy ghost story type show and turned into like the three of us saying silly things. I think if we had Eugene in this mix, it would just be like the best podcast ever, I'd say.
Oh yeah,
realistically. But yeah, people have to get him. But people got Jack pretty quickly, so I don't know.
I'm not hard to get.
No, you're just like I don't know.
I'm a really bankrupt person.
Yeah, I have so much respect for the way you embody your gimmick. It's just, I don't know. It's sometimes I just think about like the time. I remember I was in what was it, like Somerset House, where we went to see that band, and fucking I was sitting at a table with, was it like Godfrey, or were they even there? I don't know. I was there with Neve, my friend.
So yeah, there was Godfrey there. I think it was Godfrey.
Yeah, and you just turned up and had never met. I think you might have met Godfrey, but you definitely hadn't met my friend Neve, and you were like, "Fucking hell, we need to get a drink." And you went up to the bar, came back with a vodka Diet Coke, slammed it down your neck, slammed the glass on the table. "Fuck me, I need another drink." And she just goes to me, "What is wrong with him?"
Oh right. She had a point.
She did not know how to deal with you.
No, but it's fun with people around here because there's enough people like me. But I suppose if you're not from this area,
yeah, I
don't know.
We have fun.
We do.
Are we done? Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's up to you.
What do you think, Loosemore?
I'm good with whatever. If you want to go a bit longer.
Do you have yeah, okay. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, and if you're not, we'll leave it. But the Roxanne Pallett thing that's going on, you seen that?
Didn't she leave Big Brother for something?
Yeah. So this is like, I
know who's all that.
I don't care about Big Brother,
no,
and all that shit. But this is a really fucking interesting story because there's this guy, Ryan something is his name. Should have Googled that. He played Jason on Coronation Street. That's all I know. I'll tell you every girl that he married on Coronation Street. I can't tell you his real name.
Ryan Thomas.
Ryan Thomas. He has 2 first names. What a fucking dickhead. So he was going around the house shadowboxing, as you do. And he went up to Roxanne Pallett and started shadowboxing her. And you can watch this whole footage online. And even if you watch it in slow motion, he does not hit her once. She doesn't even move a muscle. Like, there's not a single bit of impact at all. And she goes like, ow! And he goes like, oh, sorry. Even though he wasn't sorry because he didn't do anything. And she had no reason to say ow. She just did it because she's a weirdo. And then she asked Big Brother to call her into the diary room. And then when she was in there, she was like, he fucking really hurt me. Or something. I don't know how she sounds. I can't remember this. But she's
spot on impression.
I don't know. It's all just a load of bollocks. But so she started crying, and then she talked to some other fucking goon in the house, and she was like, something happened last night, and he really fucking hurt me. And she started crying and made it a big thing, and the whole world is like, we've seen this on camera. And he didn't hurt you. And
The thing I don't understand, I don't know what she was expecting to get out of that.
Yeah.
Because she knew that everyone, like, the fucking people running the show would watch it and go, hang on, did something happen that we've missed here? They would have seen it and gone, no, nothing happened.
And lots of anecdotal evidence has come out from people who've worked with her, and they're all just burying her and saying that she's a fucking psychopath, that she's a bully, incredibly difficult to work with. Just notoriously like unhinged and selfish and narcissistic and all of this, and it seems as though she was trying to ruin this man's career, and that will fucking ruin a man's career.
Yeah, the problem with that is when you get accusations and stuff like that, like accusations are sometimes enough to fuck someone over.
Yeah, completely.
The day just like fucking Twitter and that, you don't need proof anymore.
Yeah.
If you get enough accusations, it will fucking not enough accusations, but like people believe you when you say shit.
Yeah.
But that was just.
But did she really think, like, the Aziz story and all that stuff, where like the Me Too thing, where they were coming out then, and then people's like careers are getting destroyed over like nothing. Did she really think that she could do that sort of thing? Is that what everyone's saying basically then?
I don't know. Like, I don't really know what the... Like, as far as I know, she's been coy on it. She's, like, refusing to... I think she admitted...
She came and did a massive apology.
Yeah. She admitted in one interview that, like, she completely over-exaggerated and she doesn't know what she was thinking and all this stuff. And, I don't know, like, the dude was completely torn up about it. He was like, Jesus, she has tried to ruin my career here. Like, and it would have ruined his career. Like, that's the thing. That's what absolutely would have happened if that camera angle hadn't been the right way, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
She would have rode.
It didn't
even
even need to be the right camera angle, because you can tell that it's sort of shadow box and they're fucking about. I don't think you needed a camera angle for that.
No. But let's say the camera angle was only showed him, and then she goes ow, and he goes oh sorry.
But isn't that the same as any, like, it's wrestling, isn't it? Like, the wrestling is all about camera angles.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if that was the only camera angle that was on him,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's probably what she's thinking, isn't that the whole point? Isn't she? Maybe she's thinking, oh, from a certain angle, the camera's behind my head or whatever,
you know. My honest take on it is that she's also.
There's something not right with her.
Yeah, exactly. I think that she's actually mentally ill, and I don't think that. Like, I think that she should be. Obviously, the way that society works, like, she has to do this on her own accord or whatever. But like, I do think that. There's something she just is missing.
Something in her head.
Yeah. And like I feel bad for that because she obviously has a mental illness, and if that leads her to do a bad thing, that's obviously bad too. But I don't think that she's this kind of devil psychopath that's trying to do whatever. I think she's a person in need of help too. But it's mad. Like, that guy came very close to becoming like a national villain, and he fucking would have been. He would have been run into the ground by every tabloid out there and all.
Yeah.
Crazy.
She didn't come out and say like she was on Ambien or something then.
No. That's the one that makes you racist.
Nah, sorry. Yeah.
I feel bad for her too, to be honest.
I do, because like there is something wrong in her head.
Yeah.
And I think she's probably got out and watched like the whole process she's gone through and gone like, fucking hell. Like,
I think
like,
the problem is
on,
that she was teetering on the edge of being that already. I think people were prepared to push her off. So she was one weird tweet away from something saying like borderline racist or racist in the instance of that thing, and everyone was then prepared to be like, right, she's gone. I think, you know, like I think because Roseanne is famously an alcoholic and she's an addict and all that stuff, but so she's probably said kind of racist stuff or borderline racist stuff in the past, and it kind of got a pass. And then now in this day and age of like people being fired and like the Me Too movement and stuff, like she said one thing that probably wouldn't have been picked up maybe even 5 years ago, it now turns into the fact that she gets fired. But, you know.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, obviously I don't like when people are racist, but I also think that some people just say things, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they've been living their whole lives hiding this racist agenda within them and stuff like that. I don't know. Not really a popular opinion, but like, I know somebody who has gotten blackout drunk and said some shit, and then when he learned about it while sober, he was like deeply apologetic and filled with self-loathing to the point where he basically hated himself for what he was. And I think when you look at someone through that lens, it's actually really fucking hard to like burn them at the stake and be like, you're a racist, because they're clearly someone that needs help in some way, and they know that about themselves, and that must be difficult. I kind of think Roseanne is in that bar of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I guess maybe another topic for another day, for like a deeper excavation into that kind of thing.
For people more qualified than us.
Well, no, I think we're the most qualified people.
Yeah.
Let's look at what we've addressed.
We are
here
the three most qualified on this podcast.
Yeah, we definitely.
That's probably not even true. But we solved the Trump presidency right here, live on the air.
I'm going into New York to put a line under the whole situation. So
yeah, that's good.
I'll take my ideas over.
Yeah.
I
float them about, see what.
It's good to know that first thing you do when you get out of prison is getting on a plane to New York.
They'll definitely give me a visa.
Yeah.
I've already got one, to be fair.
How do you go? No, I'll ask you that another time, because I need to do that whole booking process as well, and I'm not really.
Oh, it's easy.
Is it? Good. Do you give them your like Twitter account and shit like that?
It's optional.
Yeah, I will.
I would. I chose not to.
Yeah. I too will be choosing not to. God knows what I've tweeted about America in my life. Yeah.
I mean, like they'll just look at yours, Jack, and be like, he really hates West Ham. Surely that's what they'll get.
What is West Ham?
What's your problem with Western Hamchester?
Yeah.
The best city in Illinois. Yeah. Alright, well, listen, as far as comeback episodes go, this was a comeback episode.
It was a comeback episode.
I want to see that like button being smashed. I want you all to donate to our Patreon. I want to see you subscribe.
It's more fun to get me a lawyer, but
yeah, Jack needs to make more shows, and to do that, he needs Robert Kardashian.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Like at the like £100 level, like if you could all go and like go to that level, and you can get me a new laptop. But at the like the £1,000 level, like that's Jack's lawyer. So.
Yeah, we'll allow that. Yeah. Also, don't forget to comment, because you'll win a mug. I will literally give a mug to somebody who comments, so go ahead and do that. And I'll leave the last word to Jack Brown.
Goodbye.
And there you have it, folks.
Well played.
Thank you. That is usually the end word of a conversation.
Yes.
Why break from tradition?
That's true. When you can have tradition break from you.
Wow.
What did you say that was really funny in the middle that I thought should be the title of this episode?
That goddamn sexy nieces.
Oh, God.
I regret to inform you that I will not be titling the video that.
How did that happen?
I've already been dropped by my network. Yeah.
You do the slightest thing like make no money and suddenly get dropped from a network.
It's a fucking joke.
I run a lot of miles of life and crime, a mountain climbs and quitting times, packing that load of lying rhymes and tired jokes and wooden dimes. I've been everybody's friend, everybody's friend. I could lose my house, I could steal a car, I could serve two masters, living hard, living like a dog in a cage in the yard with a fist full of cold hard cash that I can't let go. The devil can't have my soul, the devil can't get your soul, the devil can't get your soul. Hold up your head, take all the mine and let round and round we go. Don't you wanna dance? I'm a dying man from the moment we began. Hold out your hand, ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. When the man comes around and the trumpet sounds and his number calls, and the moment he falls in the haunted halls of man, he will understand, he will comprehend, he will not pretend, he will not pretend. When the rain don't fall and the river don't run and the wind takes orders from the blazing sun, then heaven don't break for a fiery snake and your head about as goddamn much as you can take. The devil don't take a break, that devil don't take a break, the devil don't take no breaks.